Hello. Okay, so ladies, Q&A time, because you guys have asked me lots and lots of questions and we are going to do this Q&A. So it's been a while, I want to say a month since we did part 1, so this is part 2 and I hope that you guys enjoy it. First question is from Bianca Lowe. She says, do you recommend setting up plans for dates, like if you haven't heard from him but he said he wanted to see you, lol, like when? I would say no, majority of the time. Okay, so if you guys have basically made plans 2 days before to meet, so let's just say it's on Tuesday and you're going to meet on Thursday, then do you really need that confirmation? Like, you just made the plans, like just go. But most times they will confirm on that day anyway, just to make sure that they are not getting stood up. If you guys have made plans a week beforehand and it's come to the day and you have not heard from him, then it's not that bad to actually send him a message and say, look, are you still on? It really does depend on how long ago you made the plans or not, whether you message him or not, okay? So next question is from Princess Lara. It's not a question, it's actually a statement. I still need that video about how to finesse sugar daddies without meeting them. Okay, well, Lara, that's going to be difficult. Obviously something that you can do, but when you do that, you're never going to see him again. So maybe you finessed him out of £300 and then you never get anything else. So I just feel like, do you really need £300 that bad that you need to finesse someone before meeting them? Can't you just get an actual sugar daddy and get a substantial amount of money over a certain period of time instead of one go, you know? But if you really wanted to, then you're going to have to make up a scenario and act as though you don't have anybody else to help you. Okay, and he probably won't, and they would be a lot less likely to help you anyway in that type of situation, just because they don't know you. And people pull that stuff all the time, okay? So you've got to, if you do it with enough people, I'm pretty sure one of them will come through. So Eva Bound. Hey Eva. Ziva, how often do you see your sugar daddy? Based on what you said here, you don't see him that often to avoid having to be intimate, right? Otherwise, it would be very difficult for you to avoid sex, am I right? So often is the best. So you guys know I've left my actual sugar daddy situation. I'm now dating someone who is now looking after me, okay? So I've gone from someone from seeking arrangement to a regular relationship thing. Not a relationship, regular dating with someone, okay? When I was with my sugar daddy, I was never going back to a hotel. I was never going to his house. The only time that I went to a hotel with him was when we went on holiday together, and that was it. We slept in the same room, but I was on my period, and well, I actually was, to be fair, but even if I wasn't, I was still gonna say I was, okay? Every other time he brought it up, I would say that I need to feel more comfortable just so I can really let loose and really put it on him how I want to. And because he thought that it would be so fun and stuff, I think that's another reason why he waited. And I would also keep him sexually, like there was no sexual talk drought, if that makes sense. So I would send him messages here and there, like sexy messages, not pictures of me, okay, words, just words in a message. Or when I see him, I'm rubbing his leg, you know, like near his crotch, or I'm doing certain things that make him like, ooh, you know, makes him want it a bit more. It still gives him something to keep him waiting a bit longer, a bit longer, a bit longer. I would also, because obviously this man waited for months, okay? So I would obviously make sure that every time he saw me, I looked my absolute best, and that would also keep him waiting longer as well. And yeah, I would kind of cut our dates short, so he would always want to see me more. So we would go to dinner, I'm like, okay, I really need to go because I've got an early start tomorrow, or I'm always making up excuses of why I can't stay late, okay, and why I definitely can't stay at your house. So I was always doing stuff like that. And no, I wasn't seeing him that often. It was about once a week. Sometimes we would go once every 2 weeks, because that was coming up towards the end, because I was really just over him. Okay, so next question is also from Eva. She says, in the next videos, teach techniques on how to find out if he's generous or not, to help people like to not lose time. Okay, so really it's about the red flags. What is he showing you? Is he asking you what allowance you want before you've met? If he is, then that is straight up a red flag that he doesn't have the money. He's worried he doesn't have enough, the amount that you want. So he needs to ask him in readiness before your meet to make sure that he can potentially pay that amount or not, to make sure that his bank account says that it's okay. So if they're doing stuff like that, that's one way to know. Obviously, if he's not being generous, then he's not generous. So if he's not trying to meet with you, and he's not taking you to nice places, if he's not offering you your allowance, if he's not bringing up allowance conversation, if he's not suggesting to do X, Y, and Z, like nice things, or to help you out financially, then he's not generous. So that's how you know. You go off of not trying to be psychic, but off of what they are showing you. And I did a video called the red flags or something, red flags, how to know if your sugar daddy's fake or something. So watch that video. I'll link it up here and in the description box. Watch that video and you will find out some more tips. Okay, there's a part 1 and a part 2 to that video. So Diana Sally says, hi Ziva, can you do a video on how to sound intelligent in a conversation with your sugar daddy? What kind of charm techniques that could be used, examples on how to use his weak spots and use them to attract him more. Okay, so hey Diana. Now, first question, how to sound more intelligent. Obviously, it depends who is your sugar daddy as well. Because some people might be more East End or might not be that well spoken themselves, and they don't want someone that is completely different to them. So you try to be what they are, if that makes sense, because it instantly makes a bond with you guys, because he's going to feel instantaneously like you're from a similar background. So obviously, if you want to sound more intelligent, pronouncing your words correctly, using correct grammar, those are things that you can do to sound more intelligent. So what kind of charm techniques can we use? So charm techniques are different for every single woman, because something that I do, you might look like a weirdo if you do it. Something that you do, I might look like I'm deranged if I do it. So you have to really, that's trial and error. You have to be flirty, do what comes naturally to you. So one thing that I do, it's all about my eyes. It's all about eye contact, the way that I blink, the way I flutter my lashes. My eyes are they're a huge part of me when I'm dating. Also my scent, my smell. I make sure that my perfume, it's really, really different actually. So I used to use all of that, like Tom Ford and all those ones, but I don't even use that anymore. And so my perfume is really different, okay? So it's also my scent, okay? That gets them as well. That's another charm technique, because that's something that, especially with my perfume, even when I'm not around, you can still smell it, and it's just really, really strong. Okay, so it's also the way that you touch him. Are you touching him softly? Is it like, oh, you're right, mate, how are you? Are you doing that? Or are you like, hey, how are you today? You know, are you doing stuff like that? Rubbing his leg, you know, do the things that you know is going to make someone feel their best, and make someone feel like they are so attractive to you and stuff like that. So just do that. Have that in mind, that you want to make him feel the best he can feel, okay? And it will come naturally to you. And if it doesn't, then I just don't even know. I mean, if it doesn't come naturally, you just have to fake it till you make it. But you are a woman, so you have that inside of you, okay? Well, it should be there anyway, down there somewhere. Okay, just dig it out and practice on your dates, and that's how you go from there. Okay, so examples on how to use his weak spots and use them to attract him more. Well, We already know a man's weak spot is always going to be intimacy. We already know that straight off the bat. So all you need to do is look your best, look sexually appealing, look or act or be sensual, okay? Be it. Instead of just talking about it here and there, be it, embody it. Make him, as soon as he sees you walk in, he's like, damn, she's so confident. The way she's walking, you know, show a bit of cleavage, show your figure, just be sensual, because their weak spot is their penis, okay? So make sure that you are making their penis feel like it wants to get busy. Okay. All right, so next question is from the lovely Anna. Hey, Anna. So Anna says, hey, Sarah, hope you're well. Could you possibly share tips on how to increase your allowance once you're in an arrangement and stuff like that? So the way that I increased mine was by saying that I had my credit cards and stuff that I needed to pay off. But obviously I told him double the amount of the credit card. So he was giving me more every month. So that's how my allowance actually went up. So I had a problem, and even if that wasn't the problem, I would have made that problem up, and I doubled it, and he was giving me that plus my regular allowance that he was giving me. That's how you just create another scenario, and he will have to come through for you. Okay, so the next one is, please do a video on how to make him obsessed with you. Well, again, that's bringing it back to your femininity. That's bringing it back to your how flirtatious you are, how good you look, how lovely you smell, how good you make him feel, how much you speak to him, about his work, about how amazing he is, about how sexy he is, and he will be talking to you for hours and hours. So that's something that you need to remember that you're doing. You're focusing on him, because in his life, he doesn't have someone that focuses on him. He doesn't have someone to make him, this is majority of the time, he doesn't have someone to make him feel amazing and like he's the best guy out there. He doesn't have someone to make him feel like that. And it is your job as a sugar baby to make him feel like he is the man when he's in your presence. That is your job as a sugar baby. So make him feel like that, and he will be obsessed with the feeling that you give him when he's around you. He will be obsessed with that. And obviously, if you look your best, you smell really nice, and you're very feminine, he's going to be obsessed with you anyway. Okay? So next question is, this question was by Chris Anthimum, and she says, when you go out to dinner by yourself scouting, do you do something to occupy yourself, like use like read through a magazine and stuff like that, or just like stare around and stuff? Now this is the thing that you guys need to get used to. You can't be on your phone, because it looks like you're waiting for someone. So what I do is I have a notebook with me, and I'm actually writing stuff in my notebook, like, because I'm someone, I like to write lists and stuff all the time anyway. So I'm writing lists. I'm also people watching, because I have no shame to sit there by myself and be like people watching. I don't really care. So I'm just naturally like that. So just do that, okay? Just do it, and go there with a notebook, not a magazine, because then it's like, why would you come out and have a magazine? So no magazine, no book, because those are things, it's like, don't approach me. With a notebook, people will come up to you and say, oh, what are you writing there? And they will try to get to know what's going on with you, just because you're acting different to everyone else. Other ladies are not there writing in notebooks, okay? So there's that. And also, if you go somewhere and they have like a live band, then you're going to be sitting there with your drink watching the band, and you don't look or feel out of place, because there's something for your eyes to be focusing on. But you need to be focusing on men as well. So your whole objective is to make eye contact with men that are eligible bachelors. So that is your whole objective when you are out. So if your head is in your phone, if it's in your book, if you're writing your notes all the time, no, okay? You need to make sure that you make that eye contact with these guys, Okay, so that's what I do. This is the last question, which is by the lovely Faith. And Faith said, do you know what would be a really good video? Da, da, da. Okay. A video where you talk about how you and your standards have changed from first getting into the dating game in comparison to where you are now. That is actually a really good question, and the way that my standards have changed. Okay, so she said, how have I changed and how has my dating standards changed? So as you guys know, look at my first video and look at me today. There is a difference in my appearance. There's a difference in the way that I talk. There's a difference in my nails. I was a nail biter. There's a difference in so many things. So I really have changed. And what I'm actually doing now is, I spoke about this in my Ladies We Need to Talk video, and I have changed my makeup, I've changed my hair, I don't bite my nails anymore. I've changed so many different things about myself. My confidence levels have just risen and risen and risen. And it's just, it's crazy. I'm always making it so that I'm putting my best foot forward before I leave my house. Honey, everything is done. You won't see me outside slipping like that. So that is one way that I have changed. Now, I've changed for myself, but obviously if I want to have a certain type of man in my life, then I have to look the part, and I'm well aware of that. My dating standards have changed because let's bring it all the way back to years and years ago. I was with men that you couldn't even call men, and you know, they was kind of pathetic, but then I was kind of pathetic to be with them. Going from that type of guy all the way down there to now going to CEOs, to now going to barristers and stuff like that, there is a considerable difference in the places that I go to, in the things that I allow, in the types of people that I want to be around, even just like the mannerisms of some men, like men that just want to play video games versus men that are out here working very hard, men that are still dressed as though they are in a UK grime video, as opposed to a man that is dressed in a suit and the whole shebang. Like, there's just, that is a boy and that is a man, in my opinion. So I was going for boys and now I'm going for men. So that is my difference. What has changed with your standards of dating? Let me know in the comment section below this video. So I will see you guys later. Bye.